Hello everyone, I am Randy Suarez, aka Silva Crows, and back here another amazing reaction. This time we're back with some more Nostalgia Critic. This time Spaceballs. I've been waiting to do this one. A certain subscriber kept asking me to drop this. Look, I have to wait until it's spooky season to do stuff like this due to the fact that the nature of this whole entire thing. And this is also featuring Hats Off Entertainment as well. Again, this is a 40 plus minute video, so please grab some popcorn, grab your snacks, and if you like any other content, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Awesome. I will leave the original link to this video down below so watch it uninterrupted. Also link to my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Follow me on those social platforms. There's a link to the Discord. Come join into the Crow's Nest. Talk amongst yourself. Have a jolly good time. Also, link to the Cashapp. Feel gracious enough to donate whatever you want to donate for the channel. That's fine. Don't. That's fine as well. Send in soup things. But by donating, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing all the good stuff, however you show your support, lets me know you rock with the reaction content, rock with the channel, and rock with your boy. But further ado, buckle up and all right, we're here with some more Nostalgia Critic, Spaceballs. Oh man, I haven't seen this movie in years, and the point that they're making another one is insane to me. But also shout outs to Channel Awesome. Also shout outs to Hats Off Entertainment. Let's go.
Brought to you by Factor.
Hold on. Oop. Give me a second. It's not connecting. Give me a second. Come on. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. It is acting. See, my Bluetooth has been acting weird. I might have to get myself another one. Yep.
Paired.
Bingo. Alright. Cool.
Maximum volume.
Alright.
This episode brought to you by Factor.
Maximum volume.
For one ready-to-eat meal kit.
Alright.
With the announcement of Spaceballs 2, many have speculated what the sequel will generate in current Hollywood. Well, wait no more, for we're announcing the new head of the Spaceballs franchise, Kathleen Kennedy.
Hello. As you may be aware, things didn't work out the best when I took over Star Wars. Some even say it bordered on satire. That's why pivoting in this direction seems to make the most sense. I'm happy to announce a lineup of sequels, spin-offs, and miniseries that will unite a fan base in asking, was that necessary? We'll start off with 3 new movies. The first one will basically be a repeat of the first film to show we know what we're doing. The second film will make you ask, do they know what they're doing? As we put a different guy in charge who writes the second act like the third act, and turns out about half a good movie, which makes sense as only about half the fan base will like it. The third film, we go into complete panic mode as we retcon everything in the last film to desperately make you like us. But that's not all. We'll bring you stories about characters you didn't think twice about, like a prequel for Barf starring Jack Black.
I am Bartholomew. First we space, then we balls, Schwartz and Steel.
That sounds like something that they will do. It really does. And here's the thing, Jack Black's not a bad actor. Sometimes they put him in certain things that just doesn't make any sense.
Remember the We Ain't Found Shit guy? He has a movie and a series. And for whatever reason, we'll put a lot of effort into him. Like his movie will have some of the best effects and action sequences, and his series will have some of the best writing the franchise has ever produced. Random. We'll also do a lot more animated series. I'm not sure who's going to run that, but they'll probably end up taking my job. We'll also sprinkle in dozens of cameos from your favorite sci-fi co-star, the Uncanny Valley. Whether previous actors are dead, unavailable, or just straight up old, we'll use the best and just off enough technology to make you swear that we should know better. Just check out our de-aged Michael Winslow.
Hello, I am Michael Winslow. Can you believe they are using computers to make me look and sound younger?
Oh, God.
It is completely seamless. They even replaced my amazing sound effects with computer sound effects. I was in Police Academy.
We also have a project directed by Patty Jenkins. We'll shoot a teaser with the most epic yet personal buildup of all time, then randomly scrap it, only to bring it back again. because that shows confidence in what we're promising.
That
And of
sounds
course,
familiar.
we'll work endlessly to hire the most diverse and memorable cast Hollywood has seen, to be written as the most bland and forgettable characters in the most bland and forgettable situations. But we'll spend obscene amounts of money putting them on sets that look like we just visited Galaxy's Edge for a weekend. So fear not, my friends. The future of Spaceballs is as carefully mapped out as a GPS signal underwater. And if you still have concerns, remember, I come from a background of producing juggernauts like Steven Spielberg, Robert Zemeckis, and Frank Marshall, and they're doing great!
Yeah, okay. Right, great. Okay, yeah, lie to yourself, lady.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy, remember? So you don't have to. Well, now that a sequel is being made, I figure it made sense to talk about what many consider the greatest Star Wars parody ever made. 10 years after Star Wars came out, Spaceballs. Directed by Mel Brooks in 1987, Spaceballs was, yes, a little too late to the game in terms of Star Wars satires, but much like in Frankenstein, if you got something good, the people will wait.
Yeah.
You could argue he was waiting for the Star Wars films to wrap up before he lampooned them, which would mean he'd have to wait several more decades. Regardless, this film was an audience success, even if it wasn't a critical success.
No.
Yeah, believe it or not, critical reviews were mixed at best, saying there's some good laughs, but was a little too childish, awkward, and didn't come together as a complete whole.
No.
Years later,
As a
fans
comedy,
said
it's
they
a
could stick it
parody.
up their complete hole, as Spaceballs went on to making an okay amount of money to, how did Lone Star put it?
A shitload of money!
As the film continues to be one of Brooks' most profitable movies, if not the most profitable. Not just because of how much fun it is, but also because it's lampooning one of the biggest moneymakers of all time. So, almost 40 years later, we're going to look at the staying power this movie seems to have and why some critics at the time just couldn't give in to the Schwartz.
Critic.
What's that?
It's Joe Ramone from Hats Off Entertainment.
Oh yeah, I've seen your YouTube channel, links below. Why do you sound so echoey?
Well, I am a Schwartz ghost.
I don't think I want to associate with anything with that name, so I'm just going to move on.
No, wait. Sorry, I've never made a physical appearance in a video before.
Godzilla, what is that?
Oh, this is just how I look. It's a rare disorder where I'm made up entirely of movie clips.
I thought you were just editing them together with insightful commentary.
No, I'm just clips.
Well, now that you're here, I'm assuming you want to do an epic crossover.
No. I mean, what year is it? 2011? But I do like diving into comedy movies from the 80s and 90s, and there is a lot to talk about with Spaceballs. So I figured I'd just chime in every now and again with some interesting detail about this movie and its production.
I'm okay with it. Just turn the other direction. You're freaking me out.
Okay, but you should know that my back is made up of clips from another Mel Brooks movie, Life Stinks.
Ew.
Yeah, I also love highlighting forgotten failures. You want to take a look? It's really not that bad.
No,
No, good.
Let's just take a look at Spaceballs. Seriously, go stand somewhere else. A major part of almost any Mel Brooks movie is his music, and the theme for Spaceballs is pretty catchy. Clearly a send-up to the Star Wars theme, but good enough to stand on its own. The only thing I don't like are the laser sound effects. It kind of cheapens the score a bit. It's like hearing that beautiful theme from Young Frankenstein, but mixing it in with the monster moaning because they didn't have confidence it was strong enough.
So silly. If they did add that, it would damper. Yeah, it would definitely damper.
He said he wanted the film to be a satire of Star Wars, but also his version of a sci-fi fairy tale. Hence why he has the opening scroll, but rather than doing a spin of a long time ago, like many satirists did, he took it back to what the words were originally borrowing from, Once Upon a Time. We open with our villains on the ship Spaceball 1. And while this is obviously a spoof of the Star Destroyer shot that goes on forever, I think one of the reasons it works so well is it's designed to look like every few feet it's narrowing near the end, but then it expands out to reveal more, constantly keeping you guessing when it's actually going to stop.
All rise in the presence of Dark Helmet.
Colonel Sanders,
Darth
played by
Helmet.
George Weiner, is the right-hand man of Dark Helmet. By the way, my dad never wore that tie despite me getting it for him every Father's Day. And I have to say, I had no idea what this film was when I saw it for the first time at a friend's house. So seeing Rick Moranis under there was a phenomenal reveal.
I'll call Spaceball City and notify President Screw of immediately. I already called him, sir. You went over my helmet?
Whenever someone displeases him, he uses a magical ring to make you think he's gonna choke a bitch, but really he's choking something else.
No, not that. Yes, that.
Pretty great, too, that the mask doesn't alter his voice. He just deepens it to sound more intimidating when it's on.
Hot, too hot.
What's interesting about this movie is that when Mel first conceived the idea to parody the sci-fi genre, he originally intended to focus more on lampooning the pulpy sci-fi serials that he had grown up with, stuff like the old Flash Gordon shorts, which was reflected in the movie's working title, Planet Moron. And honestly, Spaceballs would have probably had moron in its title had it not been for the release of a British comedy in 1985 called Morons from Outer Space, which even I won't threaten to play clips from.
And underneath the air shield, 10,000 years of fresh air.
Their plan is to steal all the fresh air from a planet called Druidia to save their planet, which is running out of resources due to bad leadership. Hey, it really does take place in the future.
President
I get it.
Scrooge.
That lousy leader is President Scrooge, which is almost Brooks backwards. And for absolutely no reason, I like to point out his mustache looks exactly like the frozen snot from Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Where would you be without my insight?
Oh, God.
What's happened to his head?
It's on backwards.
Why didn't somebody tell me my ass was so big?
And somehow my thumbs are backwards too!
No more beaming. This time I'm gonna walk.
President Scrooge.
Now, in addition to satirizing the science fiction genre, Mel also wanted to satirize American politics, of all things. Hence why so much time in Spaceballs is devoted to the President Scrooge character. When he first started developing this movie, Mel told a reporter in 1984, "I always try to use a parallel in my movies. In this one, I think it'll be the US and how it is run. The Planet Moron. How people continually vote for the wrong administration to run the country."
Everybody got that?
Oh, I got it, all right. It sounds familiar, doesn't it, all right? Oh, hey, man. At the end of the day, we're screwed in the weirdest way. Yep.
Meanwhile, on planet Druidia, Princess Vespa, played by Daphne Zuniga, is being forced to marry Prince Valiant.
I don't love him.
I'm sorry, Vespa. He's the last prince left in the galaxy.
Hey, CFS is no laughing matter. She has help from her droid of honor, Dot Matrix, played by Joan Rivers.
Here I am. I'm sorry. I had to make a pit stop. I'm so excited. I couldn't hold my oil.
Boy, she almost looks as shiny and plasticky as you know where I'm going with this.
Yes, we do.
Wait, you forgot to get married.
Vespa runs away and we're introduced to our heroes Lone Star, played by Bill Pullman, and Barf, played by John Candy. They're being hassled by a gangster named Pizza the Hut, who nowadays would just
Pizza.
be CG, but he looks pretty impressive as a practical effect, who's demanding the money he's owed.
You're gonna pay it.
Or else Pizza is gonna send out for you.
And speaking of practical effects, it's worth mentioning that there are no prosthetics on Vinny here. Those robot features were all painted on. You can even see the actor's unpainted neck when he turns his head in some shots. That actor, by the way, is Rudy DeLuca, one of Mel Brooks's go-to gag writers, who collaborated with him on the scripts for Silent Movie, High Anxiety, and Life Stinks, which I still have some clips of if you want to take a look.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
You sure? It's got Billy Barty in it.
I'm good. Just say we're good.
Well, Vespa continues to run away.
Will you turn that thing off? What? What is it?
I'm just stealing a joke Mel Brooks will steal for himself in the future.
Yeah.
Baseball 1 closes it.
Sorry, sir. Doing my best.
Who made that man a gunner?
He's my cousin.
Who is he?
He's an
Yeah, I'm still not sure on YouTube's policy on constant swearing, so we'll go with the TV version.
Yeah.
moron, sir. How many morons we got in here anyway? Yo! Do it, I'm surrounded by morons.
God, that's not as funny.
Yeah.
Granted, I do love the one guy who's wondering how the hell he's not related to this group.
King Roland to Lone Star. Are you there?
Vespa's father, King Roland, played by Dick Van Patten, says he'll pay Lone Star whatever he wants to save his daughter.
Okay, we'll do it for $1 million. $1 million?
Hey, with US inflation, that's like 2 candy bars.
Yeah.
They approach Spaceball 1 in the middle of their capture and literally jam their radar.
I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps.
The what? The what? And the what?
This is what Superman 3 thought it was doing with Richard Pryor.
Lone Star.
Okay.
Well, One of the fun things about rewatching this movie is seeing all the side characters' reactions. Like the camera hitting Lord Helmet is great, but Sanders backing up like, oh shit, is pretty priceless.
I'm a Mog. Half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend.
I also just have to chime in to say that John Candy is so perfect as Barf. But as originally conceived, the Barf character had far more canine features on his face. This would have required whoever was cast in the role to hide behind heavy prosthetic makeup. But when Rick Moranis suggested his friend John Candy for the role, and he expressed interest, Mel and the studio knew that they couldn't hide Candy's expressive and bankable face behind a ton of makeup. So they redesigned Barf, making him look more human in the face. With the money they were able to save on this minimalist makeup application, they were then able to expand upon the character's other features, such as his ears and tail, which were brought to life through a series of complex animatronics.
Know what? That's pretty damn smart of them. I had to give them the props on this one, literally, due to the fact that at the end of the day, like, they understand the actors' strengths and weaknesses and capitalize, and at the same time, saving a lot of money. So,
which took 4 puppeteers and a 30-pound battery to operate. So anytime you see Barf's ears move, just know that Candy was wearing a 30-pound battery on his back.
On the ship, I don't take orders, I give them.
Dare you speak to me that way?
Vespa and Lone Star don't seem to get along, so of course they're gonna fall in love. But she protests as she says her father's king of the Druids, so she shouldn't be rescued in such filth.
That's all we needed. A Druish princess. Funny. She doesn't look Druish.
Oh, I get it, because she's a high-ranking priestly class from ancient Celtic culture. Brooks, you scamp you.
Prepare to attack on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Use hyperspeed to get away, so Helmet insists on ludicrous speed.
I don't know if the ship can take it. What's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken?
God, I love these two. In most films, it'd be switched with Weiner as the main villain and Moranis as the dopey sidekick, but the fact that they are playing a little against type allows them to show their comedy range. How many movies is going to have Moranis in charge of an army? But at the same time, it's kind of a classic bit with the pathetic small guy who gives orders and the pathetic tall guy who carries them out. They're like Pinky and the Brain. Neither one should be followed. Helmet passes our heroes, but it looks like they're out of gas, so they crash on a desert planet.
My things.
Take only what you need to survive.
You know, even if a joke doesn't get a big laugh, they're kind of so cute you don't care.
Yeah.
Vespa and Lone Star continue not to get along, because this actress has to prepare for all the Christmas rom-com she's going to be in. Oh, you think I'm kidding?
Oh, God,
Gets an idea for how to find them.
Get me the video cassette of Spaceballs the movie.
Producers, 12 chairs, blazing sails.
Obviously a pet prop fan.
Gonna be a cassette of Spaceballs the movie. We're still in the middle of making it. They're out in stores before the movie is finished.
We call it streaming. These are some pretty classic routines, everything from the simple but surprisingly effective laugh of speeding up the movie, to them landing on the moment they're into the phenomenal writing explaining what's going on.
Go back to then. When? Now. Now? I can't. Why? We missed it. When? Just now.
And I'm watching them, watching them, watching them, watching them, watching them, watching them, watching them. Hey, I wonder how far this can go.
Hey, don't include us in...
Hey! Renegade! Hey, the gang! Don't include us into this.
Fourth wall nonsense.
I'm just watching to see if Oni ever makes an appearance.
Who are y'all talking to?
Hey, shout out to Renegade! Hey, I did not... That is unexpected. Hey, man, shout out to Renegade's React.
Don't include us in your fourth wall nonsense.
I'm just watching to see if Oni ever makes an appearance.
Who are y'all talking to?
Lone Star and Vespa continue not to like each other, when suddenly, they do. Yeah, even for a parody that seemed pretty fast.
Yeah.
I could be perfectly happy the rest of my life without...
Sure you could.
That escalated quickly.
Yes,
Do you know where you're from?
Not really. I was found on the doorstep of a monastery.
A strange medallion around his neck is the only thing left with him at his birth. And to their credit, these two do have good chemistry. Each staying on cue with their comedic roles, but also playing it like something from a romance you'd see come out that year.
I can't seem to find Druidia.
It's right there.
Oh, yeah. but it's so far.
I love that the background here is actually a backdrop. It really adds to the atmosphere of the scene, and it shows that Mel was still committed to homaging the visual style of those 1940s sci-fi serials in some fashion.
Huh. Virgin alarm? Oh my god. Wait. Does that say?
A strange medallion around his neck is on.
Oh yeah, but it's so far.
Homaging the visual style of those 1940s sci-fi serials in some fashion.
Yeah, I was right. What it did say Virgin alarm. Yeah, that like wow. Okay.
Oh, didn't know Pureflix produced this. The next day, the sun beats down on him, causing them to pass out. Am I crazy, or is this one of the best head thuds a leading man has ever given? You can practically hear his skull shattering. It's so convincing.
Oh!
Small creatures known as the Dinks, though, seem to save them.
The Dinks were brought to life by a few different elements. While the physical versions of the characters were played by several Little People performers, such as Tony Cox of Bad Santa fame, their voices were provided by a real who's who of Saturday morning TV shows, including Tress MacNeille, John Paragon, Phil Hartman, Rob Paulson, who makes another appearance later on, and Corey Burton, who would fittingly provide a lot of voices in various Star Wars projects in the future.
Did I miss something? When did we get to Disneyland?
When Lucas was told, oh yeah, we'll do all your ideas. Just sign right there.
Yeah.
Great and powerful yogurt.
I think we woke it up.
Goodbye, folks. Let me know how it turns out.
Come back here, Dot.
Boy, Wicked 2 does take some liberties on the Oz stories. And Brooks reveals himself in a double role.
You're hiding me.
Really, it's okay, Mel. You don't need to emphasize your short.
You're the one. Yes, I am the keeper of a greater magic. The Force? No, the Schwartz.
Somebody's a fan of Exorcist 3.
Go in peace, my child. May the Schwartz be with you.
He, of course, explains it's not just the Schwartz he specializes in, but also merchandising.
Spaceballs the t-shirt. Spaceballs the coloring book. Spaceballs the lunchbox.
I think a later scene makes the joke for me.
It's a transformer.
Ha!
So, hats? Or do I call you Mr. Off?
You can just stick with Joe.
This film seems to hold up pretty good. What are your thoughts on some critics saying it's not the best Star Wars parody?
Well, that's a complicated issue.
Really? Do explain, and keep in mind the internet has a sale on pitchforks and torches.
Look, I will always have a fondness for this movie. As a kid who loved both Star Wars and Mel Brooks movies, it really felt like a match made in heaven when I first saw this film. But when I revisit it as an adult, I can see why critics at the time took issue with it. Watching it today, I'm reminded of a story that Gene Wilder told about Mel Brooks when he first approached him to direct Young Frankenstein. He said that he made Mel promise one thing if he were to direct the movie, that he would stay behind the camera and not appear in it.
Hey, now that's not true. He was an amazing screaming cat.
Gene told Mel the following: "You have a way of breaking the fourth wall, whether you want to or not. I don't want too much winking at the audience." And I think Gene was onto something there.
Okay, that makes sense. You don't want to overshadow the movie with fourth wall breaking a lot. And that's the thing I'm actually happy they did with Deadpool once you think about it. Because yes, Deadpool has breaking the fourth wall several times in that movie, but it didn't feel overpowering. And yes, you knew he was doing it, but it didn't feel, so much.
For instance, most of the humor in Young Frankenstein lands not just because of the dialogue, but rather in how matter-of-fact the cast delivers that dialogue. No one in that movie was really trying to be funny. Rather, they're just all letting the material speak for itself, trusting the writing and their fellow performers. The actors play their parts just as seriously as the actors did in those classic Universal monster movies. And even visually, the movie looks really similar to the James Whale Frankenstein movies. After both critical and box office acclaim, you would think that Mel would have approached his other parody movies in the same way. But in his very next film, Silent Movie, he put himself front and center, And nearly every gag in the movie ends up being exactly what Gene Wilder wished to avoid with Young Frankenstein, having so many jokes be one big wink at the audience. But this is something that Mel then only seemed to double down on with each of his movies. He not only started breaking the fourth wall more and more, but he also gave himself more to do in front of the camera. Seriously, by History of the World Part 1, he was playing 5 characters. And look, I'm not saying that those roles aren't funny. I mean, Moses dropping the extra 5 commandments is simply one of the best gags ever put to film. I just wish that Mel had adhered to the Young Frankenstein formula in more of his later work.
Well, he had to keep up as others were taking what he started with Young Frankenstein and evolving it to new levels like what the Zuckers and Abrams did in Airplane.
Actually, that's a perfect example. Airplane came out a year before History of the World Part 1. Like Young Frankenstein, the humor is played straight. The dialogue, albeit silly, is delivered by the actors with the same conviction as if they were acting in a 1960s disaster drama. In my opinion, this is what a parody movie should be, an exaggeration of a pre-existing style. Silent Movie and History of the World Part 1 don't really feel like true parodies, but rather gag movies loosely inspired by the silent comedy and historical epic genres. And Mel Brooks' style and delivery as a performer can really work in the right context, but it doesn't always belong in a parody movie.
Huh. You know what? I kind of see where he's coming from that, because that makes sense. It's one of those things that, once you think about it, timing. Actually, timing and knowing when to be placed.
As some semblance of a fourth wall needs to be in place in this type of comedy. But by the time we get to Spaceballs, that fourth wall isn't just broken, it's obliterated. There are so many jokes throughout the movie that reference the fact that we're watching a movie.
Where the real money from the movie is made.
I turned off the wall. Hey, didn't you turn off the whole movie?
Ship is too big. If I walk, the movie will be over.
Again, I'm not saying that this style doesn't lend itself to funny gags throughout the movie, but I don't feel enough of them really parody the look, feel, or tone of Star Wars.
I don't know about that. Nobody's gonna understand Pizza the Hut without seeing Star Wars, or Dark Helmet explaining how they're not related. Hell, he actually references the Force and Star Trek.
What the hell, it works on Star Trek?
Sure, but look at the other characters. I mean, there's no Royal King in Star Wars, or a Doublemint twins, or sound effect making stormtroopers, or a bearded circus lady, or a guy in a bear suit. Sorry, Chewbacca. Even Vinny, with all of his impressive makeup, doesn't really relate to anything we see in the Jabba's palace scene in Return of the Jedi. I mean, he's cool to look at, but every time I see his scene, I'm just left thinking, who's he supposed to be satirizing? Bib Fortuna? Salacious Crumb? Max Headroom? Like, look at how something like Robot Chicken mocks exact scenes with exact characters. In doing so, it manages to not only make fun of the material, but also us as the audience, and how our love of a particular movie or franchise can be so strong that...
Hey, when it comes down to it, when it comes to Robot Chicken, man, they did it perfectly when it comes to stuff like that. Because they, in the weirdest way, understood their environment and their audience.
It causes us to forgive certain elements that would clearly go differently in reality. While Spaceballs is a funny comedy, for a film called The Greatest Star Wars Parody, it doesn't really directly parody Star Wars that much, in my opinion. It's kind of like Mel Brooks saw his son's Star Wars action figures and decided to write the movie around that. Meaning some of the parody just feels a little surface level.
I don't know. I see your point, but I think there's something in this movie, flaws and all, that does make it stand out compared to other Star Wars parodies.
Listen, no offense, but I don't know if I want to take lessons of what makes a good film parody from the guy who made Demo Reel.
You're a hurtful abstract entity.
He is.
It is I, the god of dreams, the mopey mope that gives you your dreams. I've no time for your dreams. Factor can help you.
Alright. Hey man, Factor ain't paying me, I am skipping it.
Merchandise from here on out appears all over the movie, as well as some, let's be honest, standard Mel Brooks dad jokes.
Yeah.
Tell him to comb the desert, you hear me?
Or granddad jokes. Again, they work in some good bits, like Helmet's safari hat and the fact that he talks to Sanders with the bullhorn yet screams to the soldiers, defeating the purpose of it.
We were told to comb the desert, so we're combing it. Found anything yet?
But I will admit, this is the first Brooks movie where the pacing on his jokes can be a little off. It works fine for the most part, but when Tuvok here says his line, the timing does feel on par with, well, someone who started comedy over 70 years ago.
What about you guys? We ain't found shit. Do something!
Like I said before, though, a lot of this does work, even if it is childish.
Yeah.
Like when Helmet uses the Schwartz to find Yogurt's secret entrance.
Yogurt has the Schwartz. Far too powerful. But sir, your ring. Don't you have the Schwartz too? No, he got the upside. I got the downside. See, there's two sides to every Schwartz.
Ah, like Spaceballs is the upside of film parody, and the downside is... Helmet disguises himself as King Roland, and one of the reasons it was smart for Brooks to play this as a legit fairy tale is, aside from this one reaction from Van Patten...
Would I lie?
It is so funny. The scene is mostly played straight, like it's actually supposed to be suspenseful.
Daddy?
Which makes the payoff emphasizing Helmet's immaturity so much funnier.
No, Vesper, don't! Ah! No.
For you! Imagine in Sleeping Beauty after that creepy as hell hypnotizing scene. Maleficent just out of nowhere goes... For you! It'd be a laugh riot.
Yeah, definitely.
Takes the princess, so Yogurt gives Lone Star the ring of the Schwartz to help him.
Will we ever see each other again? God willing, we'll all meet again in Spaceballs 2. The search for more money.
Not only have that better be the title for the next one, but it better be spelled the exact way he said it. Meanwhile, Lord Helmet talks with Vespa. Sort of.
No, please, leave me alone. No, you are mine.
I'm sure most people are aware that Moranis improvised this scene with the dolls, action figures, which just makes the bit so much better.
Oh, your helmet is so big.
Mel Brooks later admitted that Moranis actually cost the production more money because he was constantly making the crew laugh and ruining takes. Mel said he initially would get angry, but he soon realized he had no room to talk as he would laugh the hardest. And if you're wondering why Spaceballs action figures were never a reality, well, you can thank George Lucas for that, as one of his stipulations in giving Mel Brooks his blessing to make this movie was that there would not be any Spaceballs toys or merchandise, as he feared they would detract from the sales of Star Wars merchandise.
Smart on Lucas. I gotta admit that.
Now, George Lucas gets a lot of undeserved hate, but if there's one thing that he does deserve hate for, it's preventing us from ever getting one of our own talking yogurt dolls.
May the Schwartz be with you.
That's scary.
No parking!
Now, another actor that Mel trusted to improvise was John Candy, who was always looking for ways to add something new to his scenes.
Yeah, well, normally that's gonna leave a mark.
An ad-lib by Candy that Mel loved so much he decided to keep in the movie. That occurred simply because John Candy had actually forgotten to unbuckle his seatbelt during the scene. It's a shame that there were these two great improvisers in the movie, and they didn't get any scenes together. I'm honestly not even sure if they saw each other on set. I wish that after Candy had been cast, that Mel had figured out a way to add at least one small interaction between Barf and Helmet, as they just played off each other so well. Something you can see in their brief scenes together in movies like Brewster's Millions and Little Shop of Horrors.
Helmet, you fiend!
Helmet threatens King Roland that if he doesn't give him the combination to the planet's air shield, he'll give Vespa back her old nose.
Where did you get that?
And I'm only noticing now they have put down her legal first name as Princess.
So the combination is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the stupidest combination I ever heard in my life.
I can't tell you how many people have confessed when they were younger they used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a combination after seeing this movie. It's so obvious nobody would think of it. Yeah, Archer put it best.
Jesus Christ, that is just Babytown frolics.
Yes, it is.
Lone Star and Bar sneak in to save Vespa, but are surprised at her singing talents.
Nobody knows the trouble I see.
She's a base.
One blog indicated this was satirizing Star Wars with a literal secret base. I'm pretty sure that wasn't intentional, but it is funny to think. Think of the Wilhelm scream, though. It's the first time I heard that yell thinking if I was shot there, I'd make that sound too.
Yeah.
Spectacular stunt, my friends.
They tricked the villains by making them chase their stunt doubles.
These are not them. You've captured their stunt doubles!
Speaking of voice actors earlier, I guess Marvin the Martian is in this. I mean, they did already have his wardrobe. Our heroes try to escape as Vespa kicks some ass after her hair gets ruined.
Not bad.
Not bad for a girl.
Hey, that was pretty good for Rambo.
Don't tempt them. You know that's the next gender flip reboot. Spaceballs gets ready to alter the ship to suck out the planet's atmosphere.
Preparing ship for metamorphosis, sir. Good. Get on with it. Ready, Kafka?
Mel actually admitted that he's ashamed of that joke, claiming the intellectuals hate me, and everyone else didn't know what I was talking about. Basically the complete opposite of a Happy Madison movie.
Ship changing.
It's not just a spaceship. It's a transformer.
I wish those were the Michael Bay movies we got, though. I don't know. What would the designs look like?
Don't give him ideas, Critic. No!
It transforms into a giant maid, which, man, for such a silly joke, they really put a lot of hard work into these effects. And they start to suck out all the air.
Suck.
See, even the dialogue is like a Michael Bay Transformers movie. Lone Star uses the Schwartz, though, to send it in reverse.
She's gone from suck to blow.
I could watch that reaction on Moranis' face for a lifetime. Lone Star breaks in to destroy the ship, but Helmet is there to stop it.
I am your father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate.
Sounds like a twist modern Star Wars would have.
Yeah.
And I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
However, did this not get good reviews? They have a pretty fun fight sequence doing just about everything you can with the idea of lightsabers. Except holding it backwards, we did that one. But Helmet manages to get the ring.
Now you see that evil will always triumph, because good is dumb.
Have I mentioned yet how insanely quotable this movie is? Joker telepathically tells him it was never the feather Dumbo.
Use the Schwartz! I can't! I lost the ring! The Schwartz is in you, Lone Star!
Which I'm only now, years later, realizing how hilarious that sounds. And uses it to defeat Helmet and destroy the ship.
Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pod!
I brought up music is usually a big thing in Brooks films, and I honestly think the song Spaceballs is kind of underrated.
What you got is what we need, and all we do is dirty deeds. We're the Spaceballs!
It's 80s as hell, but that's what's
Yeah,
fun
definitely.
about it. And it's legit catchy.
Hey, that's my escape pod! Who are you?
I'm the bearded lady, but are you one of the freaks?
Also, I know it's a real woman who played the bearded lady, but I can't find out anywhere who dubbed her voice. I could be crazy, but I think that's Penn Jillette. You know, like when he was doing voiceover for Comedy Central.
I'm the bearded lady, but are you one of the freaks?
Coming up next at 12:30, catch one of your favorite episodes of Saturday Night Live.
If anyone's got info on that, leave it in the comments.
Yeah, thanks.
This is your last chance to push the cancellation button.
They dropped their 180s PG F-bomb.
Out of order! Fuck! Even in the future, nothing works!
Also gets more relatable over the years. And the ship blows up. As they return Vespa home, they find out on the news that Pizza the Hut ate himself to death so they can keep the reward money.
Coming up, Pongo's review of Rocky 5,000.
Boy, this and the sequel to Airplane are bizarrely two sci-fi futuristic 80s parodies that bizarrely predicted that franchise.
Yeah.
Lone Star decides not to take the money, though, and leaves Vespa to marry her prince, thinking he doesn't belong in that world. They later drop by a space diner. Yeah, I like this world bizarrely feels like you can live in it despite it being a parody. Oh, and did I mention ILM did the effects? Where one of the patrons isn't feeling too good.
Oh no, not again.
I probably should stop surrounding myself with such familiar company. In terms of story, this is a scene you could cut and honestly miss nothing, but then again, can you really call this nothing?
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal.
Again, for as hugely silly as this movie is, the genuine, subtle, believable reactions from the actors makes these moments instantly funny.
Yeah, like, what the hell?
Yoga reveals to Lone Star that his medallion is actually a royal birth certificate and that he's actually a prince. His parents and kingdom being... which means he can go marry the princess.
Princess Vespa and Princess Valium. I'm sorry, it's the hair.
That's another one of Mel's writers, Ronnie Graham, who actually worked on the script for this movie, and he would later appear in another Mel Brooks movie. I forget the name.
Who the hell are you? Prince Lone Star.
When Lone Star interrupts saying he's a prince, they of course hook up and live happily ever after. And I do mean everybody. Even Chewie got his medal this time.
May the Schwartz be with you.
And that was Spaceballs. Sure, not every joke works, and the timing can be a little off here and there, but I still really enjoy it.
Me too. Even if I do have trouble calling it the best Star Wars parody.
Ah, geez, this again?
Again, don't get me wrong. There's still a ton of stuff that I love about this movie. There's so many great little moments throughout it. Like when Yogurt takes a shot at the over-commercialization of Star Wars, or when Helmet gets embarrassed when his crash is played back on the TV, and virtually everything John Candy does in this movie. And even the supporting characters are great, like Colonel Sanders, someone most people would write off as a forgettable side character, who really enhances a lot of the scenes that he's in. When it comes to direct parody, though, I find it ironic that the Zucker brothers and Jim Abrams were inspired by Mel Brooks when making Airplane, and afterwards, Brooks was clearly inspired by those guys to make movies like Spaceballs. In my opinion, though, Zaz, as they're called, had a much better handle on what makes an effective parody. They knew the closer that they stuck to their inspiration, the funnier the movie would be. Even if they did basically copy a pre-existing screenplay verbatim and just added in jokes for Airplane. Seriously, their script was such a direct copy of an earlier movie called Zero Hour that they had to acquire the rights to that movie to avoid being sued. But in Airplane, the timing and the structure of the jokes, even the placement of the sight gags in the backgrounds and foregrounds, just makes for more laughs.
I mean, I can't totally disagree.
I mean, the characters in Spaceballs are great on their own, but I don't think they really effectively parody Star Wars characters.
Well, maybe you just stated the reason it could be seen that way.
Oh boy, here we go. Cue Nostalgia Critic's speech where you summarize everything bad about the movie, but still manage to tie it up in a nice bow.
And sappy music, with the characters.
And sappy music!
Mention how lovable they are on their own, whether they're in a parody film or not. And that's because they can exist outside the world of parody. Topper Harley can't exist outside the genre being satirized because he's an archetype, and that's fine. But these characters can. You can put them in any situation and have an idea of how they're going to react because they are more fleshed out. The same way comedic actors play their parts believably in a classic horror genre like Young Frankenstein to get laughs, the same way these actors play their parts seriously in the sci-fi fairy tale genre to get laughs. Part of that could be because Brooks is taking from the same source material Star Wars took from, myths and fairy tales, which have stood the test of time for several centuries. And because they both understood and conveyed these tropes so well, they both give us characters that seem more alive and timeless. So yes, it may not be the best direct parody, but it seems to evolve beyond that, giving us characters we could see ourselves having a conversation with, or predict how they would react in any situation. It's like saying Princess Bride is the best satire of fairy tales. Is it a direct lampooning of certain tropes and stories? Not really, but it creates a world and characters that evolve from satire. I guess in some way this is sort of a Princess Bride in space, just with a lot of dick jokes and fourth wall humor. And you could argue films like this did give birth to similar parodies with characters that could exist outside that world. And while yes, there's probably too many dick jokes and fourth wall humor and satire that isn't as biting or focused, it still creates a world and characters that, like Star Wars, we're always going to remember.
I see your point. I guess for my money, I just prefer something like Young Frankenstein, where the parody is more direct.
Well then, we must battle it out to see whose opinion is right!
No, I'm good.
Well, you don't know how these crossovers work, do you?
Guess not.
Well, regardless, thank you for all the info and insight. You brought up some really good points.
No problem. I guess I'll go do some Schwartz Ghost stuff or whatever I was supposed to be again.
I'm a nostalgia critic, still trying to figure out how to make Spaceballs Day a thing. May the 14th? No. May the 20 Schwartz. No.
No.
May the Schwartz be with you.
Due to the fact that we are getting a second one, I wonder how that will be. Well, we won't know until it comes out in 2027, can we? So, but let me know your thoughts on this video. I like remembering this movie in general. Like, dude, I watched this not as a kid, but I watched this like, well, technically, yes, I was a kid. I watched it. I probably shouldn't have, but I remember being like, "Wow, wasn't it Star Wars?" And I got corrected by my dad saying that it wasn't. It was something. It was a parody. So, but this is my first time revisiting Spaceballs in a weird way as an adult. So, but let me know your thoughts about Spaceballs in general. Are y'all looking forward for the sequel? So, but anyway, I digress. If you like any else content, please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Like, comment, and subscribe to channel Awesome and Hats Off Entertainment. Also, Renegade Reacts. I did not expect to see you guys there. I will leave the original link to the video down below so you can watch it uninterrupted. And until next time, please take care of yourself. Stay hydrated, stay safe, stay warm. Peace.
And little questions is everything they know about you. No way.